We just had an amazing call in our Business by Design group, and I'm still kind of floating in the energy of it and blown away by it. And we wanted to come live and share that, you can still, if you want to, if it's calling out to you, you still have time to join us. And we're in the energy of Jupiter right now, and astrologically, and today's call was about Jupiter and our glow. And so we each asked what message for today. And I chose I Ching toss and I Ching toss, excuse me, and I got the 28 to the 31, which is the preponderance of the great. It's a time of renewal into the 31, and the 31 is Lake Over Mountain. It's about influence. And what stood out for me is that, like attracts like. And if you surround yourself with high vibrational things, that's what you're going to create in your life. And so I thought that was a really beautiful I Ching toss for us. And Ashley got the eagle, which was so powerful for me just to hear. Love that.
And 28 and 31 is Bella's pearl and her attraction sphere.
Yeah, and I was just feeling into the leadership theme, because that 31 for me, maybe because it is my attraction, but that's a theme that for me, Business by Design, the journey that we are taking it's all about leadership. It starts with self-leadership, and then it's leadership for everybody else. And the pearl, what we are saying, what is coding the pearl, the sphere of the pearl, that is the 45, is the king on his throne, or the queen on her throne. So it is also about leadership, and a little bit more of a tribal leadership. But what I am feeling is that we're, the 31 coming in is like we are bridging different kind of leaderships. And before we were coming on, we were speaking as well about the 44, the leader that can see the synarchy, that doesn't make himself or herself better, and a hierarchy, and the guru and the teacher that knows everything, but that is always a student, and that can see if nobody was there wouldn't be a synarchy that we can share. And like I always say, if anybody resonates with me, it's that they are either a few steps behind or where I am. We're swimming in the same pond. Otherwise, they wouldn't resonate with me. And the other key is the 46, is the embodied leadership, that you have to say yes to the experience in the now. It's not about strategizing the future as a leader. The way the world is right now, you need to have an embodied yes to be to be in leadership, and a devotion to what it is to be a leader. So 29, 46, that channel between the G and the sacral center. So these are the things that I'm like, what is leadership, and how is it talking to us? And I also feel like we're all gonna discover for the coming time, what is my special kind of leadership. Maybe my leadership is a little bit more collective. I have the 31 and the 44, it's more collective. But somebody who has the 45, for example, it's going to be more tribal. So what's everybody's leadership?
And I like the 28 leading to the 31 in the I Ching coin toss that Simone did, because it feels like you got to take a risk to be yourself too. It's like, you can't be the leader that somebody else is telling you to be. You can't try to emanate or copy or imitate somebody else's form of leadership. You can admire somebody for them being in their leadership and doing something well, and like being in their authority and their power, but it's not about abdicating their throne. It's not about taking their throne or being like, I can do it better than them. That's not even about it. That's competition and comparison. And that doesn't have a home in our world anymore. You can keep trying to perpetuate it, but it's dying. And I don't think that you're going to experience expansion for yourself in your life if you keep trying to replicate the old way of doing things. So it's more about tapping into your own individuation and your individuality, and leading from that place, leading from your inner authority, leading from your place of creativity. And that spark that's inside of you, that's only yours, nobody else has. So I feel like a lot of people don't know how to orient themselves with their originality, because maybe they have shame about being who they are. Maybe they haven't tapped into their naturals because everybody called them out for their differences. We're all unique. And it's actually the unique beings that we need to start leading the way, because they're the change makers. There's the difference. And we need to start valuing our own uniqueness and tapping into that so that we can bring that to the world and be the leaders in the forefront doing that. And it's not that we require leaders don't have to require anybody to follow them. They're not going to be like, I'm only going to be a leader if someone's following me. No. Like, you're leading yourself, you're leading your life. And if you're being that role model, somebody will just follow you because they resonate. And then eventually they're gonna branch off and be the leaders of their own life. But there comes a time when you have to leave the guru, leave the stage, leave the leader, and go and be your own leader and lead your own life. And you can gather inspiration from other leaders, but it's not about like fixating on that leader, because when you put somebody on a pedestal too, there's not that symbiotic relationship, and it's just this one person with all the responsibility, and then it's you're in codependence. There's no interdependence where we're all kind of feeding the collective, feeding everybody. It's like there's just this one person. It's like, what can you give me? I want more from you. Give me, give me, give me. And then what are you doing to give? You're just asking because you feel like they're higher, they have more, they're the leader, they know where to go. Tell me what to do. But you're forfeiting your responsibility. You're forfeiting your leadership and your power to give it to someone else. And eventually, that leader is not going to be needed anymore, because the point is, let people climb the ladder, get to you, and help them get to their own place. It's not about constantly being at the top. That's hierarchy. And I don't think that we're trying to go there anymore. We're trying to get to hierarchy where it's that equality and everybody gets to be the leader of their life. But I went on a rant. So
Hi, Monica. Hey, Ron. Hi, Kerstin. I don't know. In Swedish, we say Kerstin. I don't know how you say in German.
Hi. Yeah, so I mean, I think that the invitation that Simone gave in the beginning for BBD is still on the table, because what we're trying to help people get to is this place where they are anchored into their own individual nature, their own uniqueness, their own expression, their own leadership. Because if people are wanting to step into their business and do it by design, then you kind of need to first be aligned inside of yourself. And from that place, your business expands from that core inside of you. Your business is not helping you expand, you're expanding. And as a result, your business is like emanating from you. Your soul work is emanating from you. It has nothing to do with like, oh, my business is the vehicle. It's I don't know if that, I mean, you're constructing your Merkaba through you. It's coming out of you. It's not, let's build it and get in it. It's like built and expanded and you're already in it. It's not a external thing that a lot of people think it is. So that's what we're trying to help people build, is connect with that thing inside of you, building that Merkaba inside of you, expanding it out of you, and bringing your soul work to the world and allowing this soul work to take you places. So today we went into the eternal glow, and we'll be hanging out in this place for the next month and then moving into different areas of the Merkaba. So if you're interested, I mean, it's still available, so you can reach out to us.
You're so much more than your life's work. I'm a 2-4 in my life's work, so all about love and unity. But in this specific sphere that we were speaking about when we dive into the pearl, I am all about adventure and celebration. So we're so much more than our life's work. And when we start to see the nuances of who we are, and we start to embody the nuances of who we are, like everything gets much more fun, because we're not this just one city and one gift. Like it's easy to be over identified with one word or two, but when we see the whole platter of what we are, the synarchy of who we are, then it's like the stage gets much bigger, and we can really play the game in a much more expansive way.
Mm-hmm. Not just embodying your life's work, embodying all parts of your life too. It's like, where does your life work touch your emotions, your work, your relationship, your thoughts, and all that? And not just that, like every other part of you. Like, I feel like the entry point for a lot of people is astrology. Ooh, I'm a Virgo, and Virgo means this. But then you don't really, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, my sun is activating the sixth gene key, the sixth gate. So like that is what is activating inside of me in my life's work. But like Bella said, it's not just that. There's like everything underneath it, everything below it, everything under the surface. Yeah, the sun may be illuminating this part of you, but there's so many other areas that hold the key for you to understand who you actually are.
Those nuances, how those nuances are like shades, of you. Today in our BBD call on Glow, I'm the 41 in my Jupiter 41.4, and so that's service. And we talked about balance service, and in my share, I was talking about, for me, being present with people is some of the most important service that I do. So in view of my life's work, which is 5.4, which is um, patience, timelessness, to have that awareness that, patience is presence. When I'm patient with people and I'm just present with them, I'm actually living my, and join that with my Jupiter of service. How much more powerful when my Jupiter and my life's work are working together, when my Pearl and my life's work are working together, and all those nuances, how those shades of vibration build. It's like a beautiful painting or tapestry. The weaving in of each of the vibratory fields brings us so much more alive than that flat, like Ashley was talking about, that flat kind of, oh my, I'm massage, I'm a whatever. But what are the flavors, what tones, what that are all weaving together. It's so exciting to me to not only experience my own, but then to experience it with everyone else as we are working together in BBD. And one of the things that also came out today was Jupiter brought us to the breath and really breathing in. And one of the things I'm really loving about BBD is we've slowed everything down. We have time to breathe with each part of the Merkaba. And that's why we're saying to you, there's still time if you haven't joined us, because we have time. We're not racing through. We can really have time to experience those nuances, to breathe with them, to live with them, to have the week to reflect on them, to come back and have time for questions, to see examples. So there's this, it's exciting to me to probably because my life work, my 5 up there in my sun, it's like, oh, it's so patient.
And your 33 is like, oh yeah, we have some time to retreat and to embody this and to like really collect that wisdom, suck all that juice out of it. It takes a lot of things take time. And I think that society's in it for instant gratification and reward, but some things are worth waiting for, and some things are worth that like time and spaciousness to really let it drop in and sink in and just like live it for a little bit before you can actually be like, yeah, I know it. Okay, that's it, And then there's things that like pop up during it that you didn't even consider, because I mean, it's important to have different perspectives and perceptions that you can look at, like Simone weaving the Pearl and the life's work. And I can see how my Pearl I'm at 3.2. I just want to be in that eternal child. I just want to have no responsibilities. I just want to innovate, create. I want to just do my own thing. But as the 6.5, if I'm a fifth line, there's a lot of responsibility projected on me. And I've heard more than once, you need to grow up. Okay, like what does that mean? Like you want me to like make money and contribute and go to a job and have a 9 to 5? Is that like what the grow up is? Like, can I be the eternal child forever and be in my naturalness and get paid for it? And then I can grow up and have the responsibilities. Is all of life a monetary thing? Is that what makes you a grown up? Is that you can pay for the life you live instead of living with your parents? Not that I live with my parents, but I mean, is like, what is that? And I think that when you can start to weave that, of course, I'm going to have conflict when there's a projection on me that says, be responsible, be the leader. You're creating conflict in the field because of this and that. Like I want you to be this, instead of me being my natural, innovative inner eternal child. If I were to make my inner child grow up, I would die, because I would know I would just keep getting punished by Saturn. Saturn would be like, hey, what's up? You want to spend more time not being the eternal child? Okay, let's just put your whole life on pause, and it's going to just suck everything out of you. and you're not going to have fun, and you can grow up and have a 9 to 5 and make the money and support the life and have the responsibility and not have any fun. And that's I will never compromise that. I'm always going to find a way to have fun, you know, in whatever area of life I'm, you know, in.
Mhm.
So thanks for linking that, Simone, because I didn't contemplate that before. Yeah.
And I just want to take it back to those systems. So in human design, we often don't look where it is in the chart. We just say, oh, I have this number, this activation, but we don't really look at the planet. So we are looking maybe what center it is in and if it's defined and undefined. And then in the gene keys, we have the planets there as well, but we're going to, instead of saying Venus, we're going to say IQ, or we're going to say SQ. Instead of Mars, we're going to say EQ, we're going to say core. So it's not explicitly there. So in one way, it's like we are hiding the magic of astrology that is the basis of those systems. And okay, yeah, we are explaining the hexagrams, which is also part of that mandala, which is the astrological wheel. But what we are doing is really bringing it back to the planets. And actually the mythology of a planet has a story. A planet is here to tell us something. It's here to tell us, like, it's here to have us feel into different parts of ourselves, our expansion, our values, all these different things. So we are bringing it back to the mythology of those big planetary bodies that are out there and that are coding who we are through their, like, yeah, through their stories. They're coding our life. And for me, that's important to not forget, to not say human design is a standalone system, Jinky is a standalone system. No, the I Ching in astrology has existed for thousands and thousands of years, probably before we even knew how to like write it down. And I want us to include that. I don't want us to say this is a standalone system. No, let us be in the 17 where the sun is right now and zoom out and see the big perspective. And we had the eagle coming up in one of the cards. So there is no guru that has a little system. No, really what we want to do is spread our own wings and be able to fly and see that perspective of wholeness, of everything that's there, that can help us to decode the genius of our own uniqueness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that the decode our genius, right? We're using this system to bridge it, because it's not enough to just be like, I have the 3.2 in my pearl. When you can also include, oh, and it's in a defined sacral. Oh, and it's in the 4th house. Oh, and it's like, it gives you all these details. And honestly, I think that to go there, it gives you a better understanding of who you are. But at some level, the reason that we have to do that is to let the things fall away that aren't us. Because it's not enough for us to be like, yeah, just be in your naturalness. You've been conditioned so much that I don't think a lot of people know how to be in their naturalness, or they don't give themselves enough permission to be in their naturalness, because they don't know what's actually natural to them. And so when it's there, it's alive, it's like a heartbeat inside of you, but you have to get quiet and sink in and just like feel it and listen to it. You're like, that was always there, instead of like the clothes that you put on because somebody said it was cool, or like, I'm going to part my hair in the center because all the people say that millennials are old and like outdated because they have their hair parted to the sides. Like, do whatever the hell you want to do. It's not about the fad and the trend and the shit that's happening right now. It's like, what do you enjoy for you? Not because you're trying to like fit in, like, screw homogenization. That's not what we're here for. So I think, I don't know, I really am tired of seeing people finding the guru so they can emanate the guru, or looking to the trends and the styles because they want to fit in. It's like, don't fit in. Fuck the box. Get outside of the box and go do you. And like, who cares what anybody else is saying? And I think what's activating for me is the 49, that Jupiter's in the 49 right now. It's going to be there for a while. This is all about reaction, revolution, and rebirth. And I can feel that energy in me right now. I can feel how angry I am that people are not expanding to the potential and truth of who they are. You guys are just sheeple, like doing what other people tell you. Even the people that I might get a lot of flack, but who cares? I'm a 5-1. All the people parroting raw. Look at this quote and that quote, and I'm so amazing. Like, I have so much wisdom and knowledge. Like, really? Are you going to put yourself in the box of Gene Keys or human design and say, I'm a master of this? I'm not trying to say I'm a master of any of this. I'm saying these systems are here to help you understand who you are. So at some point, you don't need them anymore. because you're so much in your naturalness that you don't need to look at a chart and be like, oh fuck, I'm messing up because I'm not being this or that. It's like, who the hell is judging you and ruling over you? Nobody except you. So like, give yourself a break and just let yourself be who you're supposed to be. This is Jupiter speaking through me. I can feel it.
You know, as I was listening to you, I was thinking about, you know, we each have the decoder ring for ourselves. And, you know, our gene keys, our human design help us decode ourselves and start to live our, you know, it's a way into who we are. And one of the things for me is, I mean, I can study, I was an academic for my career. I can study just about anything in my office, in my room. But one of the things that I'm really loving is that how we learn through each other, share, you know, having these discoveries about our designs. And you know, today working with Jupiter and Gaia, and then weaving in each of, you know, like all the insights that we have together, and to be in a community where it's great to study, it's great to dig into your own, but then it's really juicy to be able to be in a group where we're committed to knowing ourselves, and how those internal journeys enhance all of our journeys through each of our discoveries, and being able to share with each other or ask a question like, what does this mean and how does this work, and then hear somebody else say, oh, this tied to this for me, and then that inspires me to go, how does that look like in my own chart? That makes sense. You know, how does that work play out for me? And then it gives me something else to understand. It's almost like if we were looking at a tapestry of the weaving of ourselves, somebody else has an insight about maybe this thread and this thread, and then I go, oh, let me look at my own fabric, and how are those threads woven in my fabric? And magic to me happens in that folding and the exploration. It's so fun.
Bella, anything to share? I feel good.
Well, I feel like it's going to be cool because we're going to be on Clubhouse in 50 minutes and we're going to speak about the current transit. And I thought we are going to speak about the 17 in the sun, but maybe we're going to speak about the 49 in Jupiter. So I think that's maybe what this conversation opened it up for. When we meet on Clubhouse for transits, you know, we can bring other planets than just the sun. I feel like the planets are talking to us. They are coming like out from in the charts where they are like hidden behind the IQ, or hidden behind that little symbol that nobody knows what it means. And they're like, we're here, we've been here all the time, and we're going to speak. So yeah,
it's hard not to be influenced by the planets too. I mean, it's not that it's temporary anyways. Like, you're going to be influenced, but that's what creates and catalyzes change. Like, there's an change, there's an opportunity for rebirth here. That's what is expanding for everybody because the 49 is activated. And if you don't have it in your chart, then what's coming through is like the collective and Jupiter, and you know, I don't have the 49 or the 19, and I have an open throat. So of course, if I can just be open, that's what can come through me. And you can see, you know, I mean, don't judge what comes through. I mean, I was kind of angry and I was kind of in reaction because what I'm seeing is it's got to change. It's not where we're heading. It's not where we're going. So it's going to be, it's fun to be able to weave the transits together too. Oh, are you going to share the transit?
Yeah, just know that here is Jupiter. And we have everything from the human design perspective. Can you see the same thing as I see? No.
Yep. No, we see it.
Oh, you see it? Oh, it's funny. I don't have the green little thing around it, so I didn't think you saw it. Okay, yeah. So here we have it all in like just the way we are used to see it, and here we have it in space. And sometimes it's really cool to see it in space because we actually start to see what planets are hanging out together, and you know, it's just cool to see them in space. I think sometimes that really brings things into perspective, and that's exactly what the 17 wants us to do. So having Chiron, Venus, and the sun hanging out there, it's asking us to widen our perspective.